Time now for the Cammy Awards.
Liz, thank you so much, and welcome to the Cammys, named after Cam Inman, 49ers beat writer. You know, you can have the Golden Globe, you can have the Emmys, you can have the Tonys, you can have the Oscars, but the Cammys, that's something special.
I'm just here for the after party, which is coming up quick thanks to the end of this season here. So.
These are team awards that we're handing out to some of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And let's just get right to Category 1. Our first category, Best Game. And the Cammy Award goes to?
The Cammy Award is going to go to the they only had 6 wins so far this year, right? So very small sample size, but we're going to go with one that was held here at Levi's Stadium when they beat the Dallas Cowboys. Anytime you can beat the Cowboys in a regular season, that takes priority. I mean, they opened the season with a big win over the New York Jets here, but it was almost fool's gold, and there was a little tempered excitement because they didn't have McCaffrey. So the fact that they rallied past the Dallas Cowboys in the second half for one of their wins, we're going to give that for the best game.
Our next category, Worst Moment. And the Cammy Award goes to?
All of the above. Okay, this was a really hard category because there were a lot of bad moments. There were blown losses to Seattle, to Arizona, and Los Angeles to start, right? But I think so much of this season turned. There was a lot about Brandon Ayuk going into this year. Mm-hmm. And everybody thought Brandon Ayuk was going to finally get in form, and then all of a sudden you're playing the Chiefs, the Super Bowl rematch, and Brandon Ayuk's knee gets taken out. Just deflates the rest of the season as well. I mean, you're already without McCaffrey, but now you're without Brandon Ayuk, and it's a major injury. That, to me, was the worst moment. And I know everybody's going to say, well, what about the kicker? Well, look, the kicker's not needed if you're scoring touchdowns, and without Ayuk, they weren't scoring much.
Next category, Breakout Star. And the Cammy Award goes to?
We're going to give this one to Jordan Mason.
Okay.
All right, because Jordan Mason comes in, this undrafted rookie a few years ago. He gets his shot, his first career start on Monday Night Football. He goes for over 100 yards, a couple more of those. And next thing you know, everybody's going, hey, there's our fantasy football guy, Jordan Mason. And then McCaffrey gets healthy. Mason takes a back seat because he had a shoulder issue. And then so he kind of petered out as well, went on injured reserve. But I got to say, Jordan Mason, and this was a contract year for him, he was good for him. He had a big year. Diamador Lenore was kind of my runner-up in this category, but I think people knew about Diamador Lenore last year. And the Niners obviously knew because they rewarded him with the contract extension a few weeks ago. But we're giving it Jordan Mason.
Boy, this is exciting. Yeah. The Cammy Awards, ladies and gentlemen. Which brings us to our next category, and that would be Most Disappointing. And the Cammy Award goes to?
And this translates also to the Jordan Mason because Jordan Mason got his spot because Christian McCaffrey wasn't able to go. It was just disappointing, I think, for the whole organization, for your fantasy football guys, but the fact that Christian McCaffrey was not healthy after what a sensational season he had last year as the Offensive Player of the Year, he was the NFL rushing champion, and to not have him was extremely disappointing for this team. So it's not that he didn't play well, it's that he couldn't play. That was what was very disappointing.
The next category for the Cammy Awards, Best Moment.
There was one? Okay, mind you, when we're in the stadium here, we're in the press box, kind of the crow's nest way up high. It's hermetically sealed, can't totally hear it, but we heard something this season. When Ricky Pearsall made his first catch, the crowd respectfully gave him a standing ovation. And it's one of those kind of goosebump moments because here is their first-round draft pick who gets shot in the chest, survives this robbery attempt in Union Square before the season started. He battles back, he makes a catch, and everybody kind of applauds. And it's like, look, obviously the Niners wanted to be cheering all the way into the playoffs like last year. So you take what victories you can have, and Ricky Pearsall coming back from a death-defying gunshot wound, making a catch. And obviously he had a huge game here in the home finale, but I thought that was a nice moment for the year.
Our final category, and that would be MVP. And the Cammy Award goes to?
George Kittle. And I don't think there's any debate about this. George Kittle had another 1,000-yard season. He leads the team in catches, touchdown catches. Everything about George is he is trying to uplift this team constantly. You can see that even when Jake Moody misses a field goal, he's sitting down with the kid trying to keep his spirits up because the game's not over. He does it in a much nicer fashion than Deebo Samuel did in Tampa Bay. But it's beyond that. It's the work ethic that George has on the field, He's a very eloquent speaker. When Devondre Campbell, left the team, was escorted off the field, George was very strong and stern with his words afterwards.
It's very immature, and I just don't. I don't see how that's a. I just don't see how you can do something like that to to your team.
But his play, more than anything, just whether it's the catching, whether it's the blocking, he exemplifies what this team's all about. It's his 8th season, the 7th as a team captain. They're going to probably have to rework his contract because he only has 1 year left on it, and he's obviously deserves a raise. But full disclosure, George wrote a foreword in my book that came out this year, but that did not weigh on the choice. George obviously, I think, had an outstanding season even when it was a very down time for the 49ers.
George Kittle, well-deserved as the MVP. You see Golden Globes, they can have Nikki Glaser, I mean, they can have their night. But this, the Cammy Awards, this is our moment.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody as well.
Absolutely.
I think Vern was hosting the New Year's Eve show. He just kind of popped in.
Got to get it ready.
Yeah.
Get most use of this tuxedo.
It looks great. I feel very underdressed, but it's more of a casual. The Cammys is much more casual. If the 49ers are in the Super Bowl, we're going full tux next year. And it's here, Levi Stadium, Super Bowl 60.